It's the second month in a row that inflation has fallen, but it's still in double digits. It's still more than 5 times the Bank of England's target. The fall's driven by prices at the pump, but you are seeing food prices still on the up in shops, in restaurants, and so that's painful for consumers. And you're also seeing food services inflation up again because businesses are passing on the price of energy and also labour costs. And of course, yesterday in the jobs data, we saw that wages were rising at the fastest pace, except for the pandemic, since I think it was, well, on record, but still not keeping pace with inflation. So it all puts lots of pressure on the Bank of England to hike by a half point at its February meeting, but also pressure on the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, because, of course, Rishi Sunak, in his top 5 priorities, said that bringing down inflation was one of his main goals.
Yeah, that wages number, 6.4%, yeah, the highest if you exclude the pandemic, where it did pop up above that, but the highest since those records began, as you say, Lizzie. What does this mean for the broader context and the politics? Of course, inflation has been fueling strike action to some degree in the UK.
Yes, and in the UK today, we've got the nurses striking in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, which, of course, has both a health impact and an economic toll. In terms of the health impact, the Health Secretary, Steve Barclay, said that when the nurses were striking for 2 days in December, 30,000 appointments had to be cancelled. The nursing union says people are dying unnecessarily, but it's not because they're not dying because nurses are striking. They say nurses are striking because people are dying. There's also the economic toll, and we saw in that jobs data yesterday that almost 500,000 working days were lost in November because of the strikes, and this is the most since 2011. But despite the health and economic impacts, despite the Health Secretary saying that there are constructive talks ongoing with the unions say that the idea of negotiating on pay for this year is pretty much off the table.